Hello, everybody. I'm going to go over the answers to this worksheet that you are supposed to be doing over this weekend. This is due on Monday, January 26th. And actually, it's Tuesday because there is no school on Monday. So I'm going to go over this. It shouldn't take too long. You can correct your answers or you can use this to help you as you go. I'm only going to do 1 and 2, and then I will give the answers for 3 and 4 so you can check your work. So here we have red paint and blue paint. So maybe imagine you're painting your bedroom. You're going to paint it red and you're going to paint it blue. This table is setting up our ratios, right? This is called a ratio table. This table is setting up our ratios of red paint to blue paint. So already some important ratio language, right? Here we're talking about red paint to blue paint. Let me get a darker blue. And it stayed light. Red paint to blue paint. All right, I'm going to focus on the table first. Let's just focus just on the table first. Don't even worry about the graph yet. We do not need it yet. We will use it in a little bit. All right. So let me just see if I can get this graph out of here. There it is. All right. So I have my ratios. I see I'm starting with 4 red to 6 blue. Then it asks, well, what if we have 8 red? All right, I have to figure out if I'm going to use 8 red gallons, how many blue gallons will I need to make the same pattern? Well, I'm going to start by looking at 4. 4 to 8. What is happening to these numbers? What is the relationship? The relationship is that we're doubling it, right? We're timesing 4 by 2. You can also see that we are adding 4. So it's either plus 4 or times 2. 4 plus 4 is 8. 4 times 2 is also 8. And after I find that this is what's going on the top, now I know what to do on the bottom. These are, because we need a table of equivalent ratios, whatever we do to the top number, we have to do to the bottom number as well. So if at the top I'm going to double the amount of paint, I'm going to do times 2. Then I have to double or times 2 the amount of paint on the bottom as well. So 6 times 2 is 12. That's my first number. Now I'm going to erase this. Oops, didn't mean to erase that. I am going to erase this. If you need to come back, you can rewind the video. You can see that happen again. Now I'm looking again. I see, okay, what if I use 12 gallons of red paint? What is happening between the relationship of 4 to 12? So I'm going to start thinking of my times tables. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. So I know the relationship here is that I am timesing 4 by 3 to get 12. If that's the relationship on the top, it must also be the relationship for the matching pattern on the bottom. If I'm going to times the number of red paint by 3, I need to times the number of blue paint by 3 as well. 4 times 3 is 12. 6 times 3 is 18. This here, the times 3, this is how we keep our ratios equivalent. We now have a table of equivalent ratios. For example, 4 to 6, 8 to 12, 12 to 18, and 16 to something. If you haven't yet, pause the video here. See if you can find the amount of blue paint we'll need for 16 gallons of red paint. All right, maybe you've gone ahead and tried that. Up here, I see that 4 to 16, well, I'm timesing my part by 4. So I also have to times this part by 4. 4 times 4 is 16. 6 times 4 is 24. So now I have a completed table. Let's look at how to put this into a graph. This is what we learned on Friday. So I'm going to start putting this into a graph. I need to know what the ordered pairs are first, right? An ordered pair, remember, is the location on a map, and it's always in the form x, comma, y. Here I can see my red paint is on the x-axis, and I can see my blue paint is on the y-axis. That tells me that these red paint gallons are my X numbers, and these blue paint gallons are my Y numbers. Let's make that look like a Y and not an X. So I have a couple ordered pairs here. The first one that I have is I'm going to keep them each with their partner below. So the first one I have is 4, 6. Then I have 8, 12. I have 12, 18. And I have 16, 24. Here are my ordered pairs. Now I need to put them onto the graph or the coordinate plane. So what am I going to do? I am going to start at 0. Remember, we always start at 0. And I'm going to do one pair at a time. So let's start just here. Let's start with just 4, 6. I'm going to highlight this for you. Starting with 4, 6. So I remember when I talk about ordered pairs and I talk about x, y, you can talk about x, y or over, up. Remember, we always go over and then up because order matters. So my first number here is 4. So I'm going to start with 4. 1, 2. But notice each line is worth 2, so you only have to go to the 4. So this is 2, 4. Even though I only moved over 2 boxes, you can see, maybe I can zoom in for you. Each box is worth 2. So I'm moving over to my 4 spot by moving over twice. After I move over 4, I need to move up 6. Right? Because my Y number, my up number is 6. So I'm going to find 6 on my Y, or I'm going to move up my graph 2, 4, 6, and I find the place for my first point. So I'm going to plot that here. Okay? Let's do the next one. 8, 12. 8 is my X number. So starting at 0 again, I'm going to go over 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. And I'm going to go up my Y number, right? I'm just going up my Y axis here to 12. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And there is my second answer, or my second point. Take a moment here to pause if you haven't done this yet or need to correct your work. See if you can do the last 2. Can you find the ordered pair or plot the ordered pair for 12 to 18 and 16 to 24? And then you can come back, play the video, and check your work. If you've done that and you've checked your work and you're here to check your answers, here we go. Next one is 1218. So I'm going to go over 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And up 18. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Right? Also notice it matches up with 18. So you could also just look at the numbers on the side to know how high up you're supposed to go. Right? Oops, sorry. That one was 1218. That one's there. And then we need 1624. So far we've done 4, 6. We've done 8, 12. We've done 16, 24. Sorry, I got the numbers mixed up. We've done 4, 6, 8, 12, 12, 18. My bad. Now we need to do the last one, 16, 24. So instead of showing my lines, I'm just going to jump over to the 16 on the x-axis. I'm going to jump up to my 24 on the y-axis. And I'm going to see where these numbers meet. This is just another way to do this. They meet right here. There's my next point. Get rid of some of these here, just for showing my work. Not too messy. I can actually keep that line. It's not in the way. And now we can see our graph with our plotted points. That starts at 0. And what do you notice about this graph? It actually creates a perfectly straight line. So that's number 1. I'm going to go ahead and give some answers for number 2, and then I'll provide the answers for number 3 and 4, but I'm not going to walk through them. I'd like you to try those on your own. So here I have 2 bags of concrete mix, weighs 60 pounds. That means 4 bags, I'm doubling the number of bags I have, which means I'm doubling the weight. 4 bags of concrete mix will weigh 120 pounds. And then I'm tripling the weight. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 bags of concrete mix. I'm tripling the weight as well because everything stays equivalent. 60 times 3, I might have to do some work on the side if you don't know off the top of your head, is 180. And now I don't have a number here, so I'm actually going to start with this 240. 60 to 240. What is happening to my number when I do 60 times what gives me 240? Well, the opposite of multiplication is division, right? So I can find my answer this way. Stick with me here. I noticed that both of these can be divided by 10. If I divide 60 by 10, I get 6. If I divide 240 by 10, I get 24. That tells me I can do 24 divided by 6 to get my answer. 6 goes into 24 4 times. I add that divide 10 back in multiplication, right? I have to reverse, go back. My answer here is 40. Sorry, no, it's not.